Sensitive, caring, and empathetic in nature, but also vulnerable and sometimes resentful. Family oriented and filled with the desire to find security in the circle of loved ones? Do you have these characteristic traits typical for Cancer? Do you know people in your social context who express these qualities? In this video, we will tell you about the zodiacal sign of Cancer and its meaning in your horoscope, and especially about the basic characteristics of Cancer according to Qabbalistic astrology. At the end of this video, we will give you a short and clear summary of all the key facts about Cancer you will need to know for astrological interpretation. Brotherhood of the Eternal Light, teaching the Western mysteries. The zodiacal sign of Cancer. In Cancer, the moon cares lovingly for all the members of her family. The astrological symbol of Cancer shows two claws of a crab. Cancer is a water sign. Its quality is cardinal. Its beginning marks the time of the summer solstice and the beginning of summer. The sun moves through Cancer every year from approximately June 20th through the 21st to July 21st through the 22nd. At the time of the summer solstice, the sun reaches the highest point of its apparent orbit in relation to the celestial equator. The variety of flowers and plants grown in the spring must now be carefully nurtured and cared for in the summer, and receive the appropriate attention and nutrients, such as light, water, and minerals, to reach ripeness. A fitting example is the image of animal parents who are involved in the care and rearing of their offspring. Each cycle has its important function in nature, and the principle of cyclical phases is closely related to the moon, which is the ruler of the astrological sign of Cancer. Also, the crab as a shellfish, which is surrounded by a protective shell and which withdraws for protection, is a symbolic allegory of the meaning of this sign. Cancer stands for the element of water, which represents an absorbing and form-giving quality. The ideals of Cancer are sensitivity, receptivity, and loyalty. Possible problems of Cancer can be vulnerability and attachment. The fourth house corresponds to Cancer. It is about our home, homeland, and place of security. The cusp of the fourth house corresponds to the Imum Coeli, which stands for origin and family. Basic Kabbalistic meaning. Cancer is associated with the tarot card, the Chariot, which, among other things, stands for the preservation of and loyalty to the spiritual tradition. At the Kabbalistic Tree of Life, we find the assignment of the zodiac sign Cancer to the 18th path, which leads from Binah to Gevurah. For further information on Qabbalah, visit our online courses or workshops, link in the description. Mythology of Cancer. In Greek mythology, which is interesting for astrology, crabs occasionally appear as secondary figures. One example is the saga of Hercules or Heracles. On one occasion, Heracles had to fight against the many-headed Hydra in a swamp as one of his works, and in addition, he also had to fight a crab sent by the goddess Hera, which attacked him. As the name of Heracles suggests, its origin is connected with the goddess Hera. So, this is where the Cancer-related subject of origin comes up. Heracles is the son of Zeus and Alcmene. Zeus's wife Hera was jealous and tried to kill Heracles. Because of certain circumstances, however, Heracles attained his special powers due to Hera's divine milk. We can regard the crab sent by Hera as an unbalanced energy working in Heracles' subconscious, against which he has to defend himself in the completion of his tasks, and which has to be overcome in order to be successful in his mission. Through his subconscious, he is also connected to the collective subconscious. It represents something like the connection to his origin as a human being and as a demigod. Therein we find an astrological correspondence to the sign of Cancer, the fourth house assigned to this sign, and also to the moon, the ruler of Cancer. Dignities of Cancer. Cancer is the domicile of the moon. The moon shows how and in which area a person is receptive and how this receptivity is expressed. The spiritual principle underlying the moon at the Kabbalistic Tree of Life is the Sephirah Yesod. Yesod represents the principle of the subconscious and also the collective subconscious. The basic power of the moon, the receptivity, can show itself plainly in the sensitive water sign Cancer, and can express itself in a particularly positive way. It expresses itself through the care for and understanding of the needs of closely related people, and also through the desire to give loved ones caring closeness and well-being. Cancer is the exile of Saturn, the planet of discipline, self-restraint, and seriousness. The spiritual principle underlying Saturn at the Kabbalistic tree of life is Binah. Binah represents the principle of limitation and severity and of bitter realization. Saturn cannot adequately express itself in Cancer. When it is about limitation, restriction, or following strict discipline, sensitivity, receptivity, and caring for others do not find their proper place. Cancer is the exaltation of Jupiter. Jupiter shows our moral values and our worldview. The spiritual principle which underlies Jupiter on the Kabbalistic tree of life is the Sephirah Chesed. Chesed represents the principle of benevolence and order. In the receptive, sensitive Cancer, Jupiter's impulses of generosity and the desire to live according to higher values will find fertile ground in receptive Cancer, and can ripen and blossom. Cancer is the sign where Mars is in its fall. Mars is the planet of energy and willpower. The underlying spiritual principle of Mars at the Kabbalistic tree of life is the Sephirah Gevurah. Gevurah represents the principle of courage and strength. The basic force of Mars, energy and willpower, cannot adequately express itself in Cancer because the protective and sensitive quality of the Cancer sign weakens the energy of Mars, and thus it cannot exert its willpower. Where sensitivity and receptivity are concerned, the powerful, expansive energy of Mars can quickly become too much. And now we present a brief summary of the most important astrological facts about the zodiac sign Cancer. The astrological symbol of Cancer shows the two claws of a crab. The sun moves through Cancer every year from about June 20th to July 22nd. Cancer is a water sign with the cardinal quality, which marks the summer solstice. The fourth house and the Imam Coeli correspond to the zodiacal sign of Cancer. The fourth house and the Imam Coeli contains the area of homeland, origin, home, and place of security, respectively. The ideals of Cancer are sensitivity, receptivity, and loyalty. The potential problems are attachment and vulnerability. In Cancer, the moon rules and Saturn is in its exile. Jupiter is exalted and Mars is in its fall. These are the most important contents about the sign of Cancer. Were you born between June 20th and July 22nd? Do you have several planets in the sign of Cancer in your birth chart, or in the fourth house? And how do these constellations affect you? And maybe you know somebody who you would describe as a typical Cancer personality. Please tell us more about it in the comments. Find out more about the Qabbalah in our free online course, or visit our website with additional free content. You can find the links in the video description. Also, check out our astrology playlist. If you enjoyed this video, please support us by giving us a like and subscribe to our channel. If you don't want to miss any of our new videos, then activate the bell. Thank you, and see you soon in our next video.